Well, I'm particularly happy to come to Italy now because I'm happy to go anywhere now. Because when I look back, when I started this 26 years ago, uh, almost no one was interested. You faced ridicule and abuse and dismissal. And now, since I've been on this worldwide wake-up tour, started in England in June, and has been to Australia, across Australia, four cities, to New Zealand, to New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, and then across a couple of weeks ago to Prague in the Czech Republic, and now to Italy. And for me, it's dreamland because the interest is tremendous, and also, you get a feel for what's happening by those that stop you in the street. And wherever I've been stopped in the street and asked sensible, intelligent questions about what I'm doing, or people say, I read your books and it's great what you're doing and all that. Um, and when I compare that to 26 years ago, 25 years ago, 24 years ago, 23 years ago, 22 years ago, um, I would just get abuse or laughter in the street and ridicule. So there is a fantastic change going on in which people are now in ever greater numbers willing, indeed keen, to look at things they would have dismissed before as far out, as ridiculous, as impossible. But things are changing, people's minds are opening. And I'm also finding um, the kind of people that it's happening to. I mean, it's not just people you would expect. It's people in dark suits and fancy ties who you would call system people. They are now starting to question the system they're part of and how it works, and looking at other ways of explaining the world other than the one they've been given from cradle to grave by the very system I'm exposing. So it's wherever I go, it's brilliant, and it's always great to come to Rimini because it's a lovely place. And I've been here three times now, and it's great, a lovely place down by the sea in the Adriatic. Lovely sunrise this morning. Oh, yeah, it could be worse.
Okay, excuse me. Maybe it's better if you look at her.
Yeah, okay.
More reliable.
Yeah.
La tua vita fermi e dopo questo ti chiediamo dopo, una volta che finito, se mi chiesto come abbiamo scelto questo profilo.
Okay. Okay, David, you answered that your life has often been characterized by invisible force and presence intervention. Well, your book is Phantom Self. So, who or what are phantom for you? They exist. They are just in our mind. Could you give us a definition of phantom?
Well, the use of the word phantom in the new book, Phantom Self, is the illusory self, the self that people believe they are when they're not. Because of the way we are programmed from birth to death to believe in a certain view of reality, people self-identify with their name, their race, their country, their religion, their income bracket, and all these labels that we give ourselves, like I am our label, or whatever it may be. What I'm pointing out, and not just an opinion with lots of evidence, increasing amounts of evidence to back it up, is that we, in our base form, in our eternal form, in our infinite form, are simply awareness. a state of being aware. So I'm looking at you now, and what is the I that's looking at you now? What is it? Is it my body? Well, no, it clearly isn't, because the body doesn't generate consciousness. It processes consciousness, as increasingly is being realized and is obvious anyway. The brain is not where consciousness comes from. It is a processor of information and a processor of consciousness, which is another form of information. So when you have these millions and millions of stories now from what are called near-death experiences, where they leave the body because the body dies temporarily and then is brought back to life. The stories they tell and the experiences they talk about outside of the body are incredibly compelling in the way that they are so consistent. And what they say is that when their point of attention, of their awareness, leaves the body, which is I call the body a biological computer. It focuses attention and therefore perception into a tiny, tiny band of frequency called visible light, which is the only frequency band that we can see, or I would say decode into this reality we think we're experiencing. And it's so tiny, it's laughable. You know, mainstream science says the electromagnetic spectrum is 0.005% of what exists in this universe. Visible light is a fraction, a tiny fraction of the 0.005%. We can hardly see anything. So what the body is doing is decoding reality and focusing attention of our awareness in this tiny band of frequency. So when we are experiencing through the body, all that appears to exist is what we see, which is this tiny band of frequency. Although we think it's everything, we can see everything, we can't. It's like a television channel, a tiny television channel. And loads of endless other channels exist in the same space, but on different frequencies. And so when near-death experiences talk about leaving the body, they talk about this massive expansion of their awareness when they leave the body, when past, present, and future all exist in the same moment, the same now, when they can experience and process and understand multiple different realities in the same state of awareness. Why? Because what's happened is, as the point of attention has left the body, because the body has ceased to function, it has, quote, died. It's like saying, my computer died. Your computer dies, you can't get on the internet anymore. You can't experience that band of frequency that the computer puts on your screen. And then, oh, my computer's back. Oh, God, the electricity's come back. Oh, look, there's the internet again. This is a near-death experience. And so when you leave the body and this focus of attention that the body does in this frequency band of visible light, suddenly you become much more expanded awareness, because that's what we always are and always will be, except through the body we only focus on a tiny band of perceived experience reality. So what do we say about the body when someone says, hello, nice to meet you, who are you? They will say their name, they'll say their background, their family history, their job, their religion, their race, their whatever. They'll give a series of labels. But what are those labels? Are they who we are? Of course not. They are what we are experiencing. And what I call phantom self in the book is this belief that the vast majority of people have, because of the way the system works and the programming works, phantom self is that list of labels, experiences which people perceive to be them. When the real them, the real I, is a state of awareness. And that awareness is having those experiences. And once you self-identify, I am these experiences, first of all, your sense of possibility just shoom. Your sense of possibility starts to relate the narrowness of perception that you have. So people say, what can I do? I've got no power. I have no power over my life. I'm just Ethel Jones that works down the store. Whereas when you self-identify with being awareness, having those experiences, Ethel down the store is simply an experience. It's not the limit of your possibility. It's not the limit of who you are. And the only way that a tiny few people, compared with the global population, can control billions is by manipulating the billions to believe they are phantom self, they are little me, the experiences they're having is all that they are, and pull them out of the perception that I am infinite awareness having that experience. And what happens when you realize that phantom self is a phantom, it's an illusion, it's just a series of experiences and labels, and you start to self-identify with being infinite awareness having those experiences, everything changes. Because now you're not just seeing dots, you're not just seeing pixels. What's going on in the world? It's so bewildering. What's that? Now, what's that? Once you get here and you observe the world from here, the pixels become pictures, the dots become pictures, and to you it's an open book what's going on. But the people who are still in phantom self mode, they look at you and they say, you're mad, you're crazy, man, what are you talking about? You know, if you'd have said to someone centuries ago that people would even fly in the sky in machines, what would they say? You're mad, man. It's all about perception. And the only way a few people can control billions is to control their perception, particularly their perception of self, to persuade them that they have no power and thus they have to look to their betters to sort their lives out for them and sort the world out for them. And it's a process of putting people into a perception of little me to get them to give their power away, which they don't even realize they have, to the few, and the few then use that power to control human society. And that's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. And it's about time it stopped. And it will only stop, when people start to realize that they're not actually people. What we call humans is an experience. What we are is the awareness having that experience. And when the human body, what I call the biological computer, ceases to function, then that awareness doesn't die, because it cannot die. It is a state of being aware. It just moves on to experiences and realities new, that's all.